The Titanic was an Olympic-class passenger liner owned by the British shipping company White Star Line and built in the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland. For her time, she was the largest passenger steamship in the world. The cost to build the Titanic was $7.5 million, which equals $400 million in today's economy. It took 3,000 men 2 years to build the Titanic. 3 million rivets held its massive hull together. There were 4 massive smokestacks on the Titanic, but only 3 were operational. The 4th was just for looks. The Titanic used some of the most advanced technology available at the time, and was believed to be unsinkable. In the days to come, the statement would be completely changed in the hearts and minds for not only the passengers aboard the Titanic, but for the rest of the world forever. Shortly before midnight on April 14, 1912, 4 days into the ship's maiden voyage, the Titanic had hit an iceberg. 2 hours and 40 minutes later, the Titanic had quickly sunk to the ocean floor. The sinking resulted in 1,517 deaths of the 2,223 people aboard, making it one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history. The high casualty rate was mostly due to the fact that the ship did not carry enough lifeboats for everyone aboard. The ship had a total lifeboat capacity of 1,178 people, although her capacity was 3,547 people. Most of the casualties did not die from the ship sinking, but from the 31-degree water. Almost all of them sadly were found too late, and the freezing ocean had taken their lives. Orders from the captain were that women and children were to board the lifeboats first. One of the first lifeboats to leave the Titanic carried only 28 people when it could have held 64. There were 472 lifeboat seats that were not even used. The band played music up until the last few minutes before the ship sank, but sadly, none of them survived. 300 dead bodies were pulled from the sea the next morning. They were found floating in their life jackets. Many other floating bodies were not found because they had drifted off. Also, 76% of the crew members went down with the ship. The captain took his position at the wheel and watched the ship be engulfed into the dark water. There are many memorials to the dead of the Titanic in many locations around the world, from England to the United States. On July 14, 1986, the Titanic had finally been found 74 years after its tragic sinking. The wreck was found at a depth of 2.5 miles under the surface. The most notable discovery the team made was that the ship had split apart when it sunk. The stern section was laid 1,970 feet from the bow section and was facing the opposite direction. Because the stern of the Titanic went down nose first, the bow was buried 60 feet below the ocean floor. The huge gash was also buried. This disaster turned into a Hollywood hit in 1997 with the release of the movie Titanic. It was a fictional romance tale of a rich girl and a poor boy who met on an ill-fated voyage of the unsinkable ship. Hollywood did a great job at capturing the history of this event, but no matter what, the Titanic will always be a great lesson and will be buried in the ocean.